look down because I feel a little breeze, and I have 2 holes on my... Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. For those of y'all that don't know, my name is Brenda, and for today's video I have a little special guest, my best friend Marquise.
Hey guys, what's up?
And for today's video we're going to be telling you guys a little story time of something that happened to us about like...
It happened in the fall, so Halloween of 2015 in Laurel College Station. So anyone who goes to A&M knows that they love to party there, so this is going to be an interesting story time.
Yes. So before we do get into today's video, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe because it would mean the world to me. Also, don't forget to check out Marquise's social media. That will be linked down below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into the video.
Let's do it.
So to start off, I guess we can start with a little background on me and Marquise. We had principles of health science together when I was a sophomore.
And I was in my junior year.
Yeah, and he thought I was a bitch. He didn't talk to me the entire year. Okay,
so me and Brenda sat close to each other and we talked to the same general group of people, but I don't know why. She just looked kind of mean, so I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be friends with her. And so we started like hanging out outside of school slowly. And for those of you that don't know, Brenda goes by another name in Spring, Texas. She is known as the Curve Queen.
I was like, what?
She's known as the Curve Queens because I would ask her to hang out and then sometimes like it wouldn't go through and I was just like, I don't know, like let's see. But then she started hitting me up and then we started hanging out and then that's when we slowly started to become friends and then we're best friends now. So
to start off this story, like Marquise said, it takes place in College Station and we were going up there for Halloween. His cousin Anna had invited us to come down there, you know, go hang out, party with her and stuff. And so when we went down there, we showed up at Anna's house, and originally like we were gonna end up going to the same party, but like we just had like different things to do, so like our schedules just did not coordinate, and they ended up going to one party and we ended up going to another. So for this story, the names are obviously going to be changed, and we're going to be using characters from How to Get Away with Murder.
And if anyone has seen that show, you know it's an awesome show. Viola Davis is the GOAT, obviously, so... And Brenda's so considerate. She knows that's my favorite show, and she decided to make those the names of the characters. Such a gracious host.
Yeah, I try. But, yeah, so the first party, that girl, like the girl whose first party it was, we're gonna name her Laurel. So... after we like meet up at Anna's, we all leave to go to Laurel's house for the party, and like once we get there,
it was a lot of people that we had known from high school too, so it was very familiar as well. And Laurel was a grade below me, and she was in the same grade as Brenda.
Fun fact, I almost fought Laurel.
Oh yeah, I remember you did. Yeah, that's a whole separate thing. But they were cool. That they ended up being cool. So Laurel is friends with a lot of people that I went to school with, so in the same grade as me. So when we got there, it was very familiar, like, we were catching up with people and stuff. And so someone who I hadn't seen in a long time was my friend Connor. And I've known Connor since middle school. We went to middle school and high school together, but I hadn't seen him for a while until the party. So, and you had never...
Yeah, I had never really like met Connor in person. I knew of him just because like he, you know, hung out with like the same people that I did, and like I just knew who he was, but I never like met him in person until this night.
So yeah, it was awesome catching up with everyone. And so as the party goes on, we slowly make our way into the backyard, and in the backyard they kind of had a gazebo setting, so we were all just sitting there catching up. And Brenda, of course, she loves to get into conspiracy theories, so she was starting this big debate. You were showing them a video about something.
It was, okay, back in this time, this was when Shane Dawson was originally, like, dropping his conspiracy theory videos. Like, I don't even give a if I'm, like, a hipster or whatever. Like, I was watching those hoes before everybody else, and I was trying to show everybody, and everyone thought I was crazy. So,
yeah, like, we were in there watching, and it was getting, like, intense, and I was just, like, laughing so hard. And so Connor had known so I had met with a friend earlier on that day. We had lunch and stuff, and this is going to be party number 2. This is going to be Wes's party. So I had known that I wanted to go to Wes's just to see some other people. So as the night goes on and we were at Laurel's house for a bit, we say, oh, like, hey, let's go to Wes's. And Connor wanted to come with us. So we ended up leaving the party and we were like, hey, we're going to come back later. We just want to go stop by and see some other friends. So as we're leaving Laurel's house, we get into the car, and as we're pulling out, Connor sees someone else's car, our friend Michaela. And so he's like, is that Michaela's car? And I was like, I think it is. And he's like, it is. So like I stopped the car, put it in park, and we all kind of like jumped out because it was about 7 of them too. So like a couple other of my friends, they had planned on meeting us there, and I was like, hey, we're just gonna go check out Wes's party, we're gonna come back later. So we said our highs and goodbyes and all that, and so we made our way to Wes's party.
Once we get to Wes's apartment complex, like their complex had like a parking garage, so we go into the parking garage and we park, and everybody, I don't know what the rush was, but everybody's like running to the doors like to get in, and I'm like, why is everyone running? Like, here I am in like big stilettos.
Yeah, they were like huge. They were tall.
they honestly like Lady Gaga heels. Like, yeah. I was not trying to run in those, and everybody's like running past me, so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I guess I'll like, you know, keep up with everybody. So here I am like trying to like take small steps and like run, and as I'm like running, I fall and eat shit, and I don't remember who was next to me. I think it was our other friend who came with us, Bonnie, who we will talk about later on in the video.
And she was with us from like at the beginning at my cousin's place, so she was with us all through Laurel's party and then up until we got to Wes's party.
So I don't know if it was her or not, but like whoever was next to me, I like fell and then like grabbed them and like got back up because I couldn't do it by myself. Like, and then like my knees hurt so bad because like I obviously fell on cement, but I was like, no, you know, just keep walking.
Gotta push
just,
through.
Like,
we were like on a mission to get there, so just like suck it up, suck it up.
Yeah, and honestly, like, cause I had fallen for like a split second, like it was like and kept going, like, so I honestly didn't think like. I felt like maybe I just like hit my knees really hard. Like I didn't think anything really happened. So whatever. I go in, like we get to the party, and I look down because I feel a little breeze, and I have 2 holes on my knees from them ripping. Like, oh, I feel like I still have scars to this day. This right here.
Is it that one?
I still have scars to this day from this, but whatever. So when we get into Wes's party, I wasn't really with Bonnie too much. Like, she was mainly with Marquise, and we were just like, you know, chilling, whatever. Like, I had walked in, and shortly after, my current boyfriend, Ronnie, had walked in with my old best friend, and like, we weren't cool at the time, so I was like, why is he with her? But then his best friend like came in behind them, so I was like, okay, that makes sense, like they're all together, like whatever. After that, like I don't know, the party was just going on, and randomly, maybe it was like midnight, I get a call from someone who we are gonna call Annalise, and I had not spoken to Annalise in years. Like her, Bonnie and I were all really close like in high school, but like after high school we didn't really talk as much, so it was just like weird to be getting a call from her like on Halloween in the middle of the night. Like I just, it was weird. Like answered, I'm like, hello, and she's like, hey, like what are you doing, like blah blah, and I was like, I'm at a party. What are you doing? Like I didn't know. And she was like, oh, like Bonnie just called me crying because she doesn't know where she is and she can't find you or Keith and blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, like it's not a big apartment. Like it was packed, but it wasn't a big apartment. So I was like, where could this hoe be? Like where is she? And like the last time I saw her, she was with Marquise, so I was like, okay, maybe she's with Marquise, so I wasn't really worried about too much. And then I was like, okay, like let me go try to find Marquise and Bonnie because they weren't in the apartment. So I was like, whatever. So I'm like on the phone with Annalise, and as soon as I opened the front door of the apartment to like walk out and see if I can like, maybe they're in the parking garage, I don't know. As soon as I open the door, I see Bonnie sitting on the ground crying. She has her phone to her face with this screen up, and she's like talking like I think she thought she was still talking to Annalise from the time that Annalise hung up with her, called me.
So she's like having a full conversation within, I don't even know.
It was like a good like 5 to 10 minutes, honestly. Like she was just sitting there talking to herself. So I was like, oh my god. And I'm like, bitch, like what are you doing? Like get up. And she's like, no, like I just wanted gonna go to the car and I don't know where to go. Like, y'all know how drunk people are. So I was just like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, well, like, just get up. Like, let's go, you know. And she's like, no, like, I can't get up. Like, throwing herself all over the place. So I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And I like look over to the right, and as soon as I look down to the right, like down the hallway, here comes Markeith, and I'm like, oh, praise God, because I have no idea what I was about to do.
And the funny thing about this story is that we were in the same small general area, but leading to completely different experiences during the party. And so when we had got there, I'd seen a lot of people I hadn't seen since I had graduated, so like a year going on a year and a half, so I was like catching up with them. And so within this point in time, I slowly make a transition from like inside the living room and onto the balcony. But before I went out to the balcony, and this is how Bonnie got lost, as I'm like walking, she kind of stops me and she's like, hey Markeith, like I just want to go to the car and chill. And I was just like, really? Like, why? And she's like, I just want to get some fresh air. And I was like, are you sure that you can go? And I asked her about 3 times. I was like, Bonnie, are you sure you can go? And she's like, yes, yes. And I was just like, okay, like, you can go if you want to. But I had complete faith because she seemed pretty fine to me.
In the car, like, the way that everything is set up, just so you guys have a picture, it's like the apartment, and when you exit the apartment, you literally turn right, maybe walk like 10, 15 feet, turn left, there's a staircase, and then you keep going straight, like inside of the staircase, and it leads to the parking garage. So like, it's not really that hard to get lost, but like when you're f***ed up and you don't know where you are, like,
because like their apartment was down the hall too. Like I'm pretty sure the closest one to the staircase to go to the parking garage. So I was just like, okay, Bonnie, like you can go ahead and go. So I was out on the balcony for maybe I would say 30 to 45 minutes, I would say. And so within this time, I don't know why, I think either Connor called me or I feel like he had to have called me, because why else would I have left and went to the parking garage? So I make my way from the balcony, cut through the party, and I go outside and I start making my way to the parking garage. And I think somewhere within this time when you couldn't find me in the party, I feel like within those short minutes, as I was going out of the party, you were in one of the bedrooms checking.
That's what I was about to say. So I was like, there were like a couple bedrooms in there, like the bathrooms 4. And stuff. Yeah, so I was like going in each one, like trying to find him.
And there would be people like in the room, so like you had to like look and like, hey, is Markeith in here? Like, no. Then check the next room, and then
nowhere to be found.
So as I was making my way to the parking garage, so I go through the staircase and I open the door leading to the parking garage. You're not gonna guess what I see. I open it, and then there on like the ground is Connor throwing up, and my mouth just like dropped open. I was just like, oh, what the? I was so confused. I was like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Like, how'd you get out here? He was obviously like slurring his words, like it was super drunk. I was like, I need to go get help. And then he was like, Markeith, don't leave me. I was like, I'm coming back. I'm gonna come back. I just have to go get help. And so, but before all of this had even happened, our friend Michaela and our other group of like 7 friends that had all came together
in the car
at Laurel's party, they had met with us at Wes's party. So before even all of this happened, they had came and more people had been added to the party. So Michaela was in that party, and so she was the first person I thought of because I knew her and Connor were super close because we had all went to school, and she even knew him before I did. So I like run, and I'm like going to go get Michaela, and as soon as I open the door leading to the hallway to get to the apartment, I turn the corner, and then there is Bonnie just on the ground crying. And when we say crying, like, we're not talking about like, oh, a little tear here and there. No, we are talking about like Academy Award-winning performance, like tears, like no, she was bawling like someone had just got murdered. Yeah, it was just insane. And I just see herself like throwing herself on the ground crying. I was just like, what happened? And the weird thing about it was, the last time I had seen Bonnie and Connor, they were completely fine. And then the next time I see them, they are just completely trashed.
Both of them just knocked out on the ground.
Yes. And so I was just like, what happened? I was just like, oh my god, like, and then that's when you had called Ronnie to come help you.
No, like, okay, so when Bonnie was like sitting on the ground or whatever, and I'm like sitting there trying to figure out like how am I gonna get this girl to like get up, like, because I would not be able to like pick her up. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, like, and so like at that time, like, it's literally like right then, like, Markeith was walking down the hall, and then the apartment door opens, and it's freaking Ronnie and, like, my ex-BFF and his friend, and, like, they're, like, walking out, and Ronnie's just sitting there laughing at Bonnie, and I'm sitting there, like, will you, like, help me, like, get her up, you know? And he's just sitting there, like, laughing, so I'm like, thank God Markeith's coming.
And so I went in and found Michaela. I was like, Michaela, Connor's, like, throwing up. Like, I need some help. She was like, really? And so, like, we run back out, sprint past Bonnie, of course, still crying. We go out to the parking garage. And then, so Connor's still there. And we're like, Connor, like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't know. Like, it was just, like, a mess. And so, when I had passed Bonnie the second time, you had told me, she was like, Markeith doesn't care about me. He's not checking up on me. And you're like, no, like, he just has to deal with someone else who's messed up. After me and Michaela had passed Bonnie and she was crying, we were out there with Connor for a bit, just taking care of him. And within this time, Brenda was taking care of Bonnie. So we were just kind of, like, getting people together. And so some time passes. We were still having fun, though, because, like, a lot of people from the party came out and just, like, were chilling
like,
with us. Yeah, like, just watching. We were, like, literally in a circle, like, all of us talking. Then there's, like, the person throwing up. But we're like, oh, yeah, how have you been? Like, I haven't seen you in so long. So it by no means ruined the night. It just made it even funnier. And so the party was kind of starting to shut down. And as we're, like, making sure everyone has, like, phone, keys, we had noticed that Connor had lost his phone. And anyone who knows, on a night out, like at a bar, party, or anything, one of the worst things that can happen is you check your pockets and you're like, guys, I lost my phone. Like, no.
Especially coming from someone that's
yeah, exactly. So we were just like, I mean, we checked the apartment and stuff, and nowhere to be found. So Connor had left his car at Laurel, so we had to go back to Laurel's, and I was driving for the night because I was the DD, so we were in Bonnie's car. So Laurel and them were all knocked out, so we just kind of take Connor's car. So Brenda ends up driving her and Connor, and then I end up driving Bonnie back to my cousin's place.
While we were in the car, like when we get back to Laurel, Connor was passed out in the back seat of the car, not wanting to wake up or get out of Bonnie's car so we could like move his car. So we were like, okay, like I guess you can just stay in here, and I was fine. So I was like, okay, like I'll take his car and we'll just meet up back at Anna's. Like that's where we're gonna go.
And then on the way home, like, I remember we had stopped to get food, and we were like 5 minutes away from my cousin's place, and then I was just driving, and then the music was up kind of loud, and then I hear some like kind of mumbling. I was like, what? And so like low it down, and then Bonnie was like, I need to throw up. I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, can you not hold it? Like, we're almost to her apartment. She's like, no, I'm gonna throw up. So it's like I was in the middle of the show. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I like took my tacos out of their bag, like threw them in the back seat, and handed her my bag so she could throw up in them, and then like I'm just cruising down the road driving, and I just hear, like, I'm just like, oh my god, like, I just hear her throwing up, like, yeah, no, I just hear her just constant, like, throw up, I'm just like, The next morning, it was me, Bonnie, and then Brenda, so we kind of, like, we say
what name did I use for myself?
So we say our goodbyes to my cousin, like, thanks for letting us, like, stay with you. And so we grab some food to eat, and then we, like, leave. And so Connor's phone was still missing at this point, and we were around, like, 10 minutes from our house, like, all the way back in Houston.
Like an hour away.
Yeah, and Connor had to follow us back because he didn't have a GPS to get back, but we all
that shit was so funny.
Yeah, so, like, he had to follow us back, and within this time, so we're driving back 15 minutes away from home in Houston, and I get a call from Laurel, and so I was like, hey, what's up, like, your party was so much fun, like, it was so good seeing you, and she's like, hey, like, are you with Connor? And then I was like, no, and I was like, what's wrong? She's like, well, I have his phone, and I was just like, are you kidding me?
In College Station?
Yes, all the way in College Station. I was just like, I'll tell him, but I don't know how I'm gonna tell him. But I just ended up DMing him on, like, Twitter or messaging him on Facebook. Like, I was like, Laurel has your phone. Like, I don't know what you want to do, but yeah. So that kind of sucked for him.
But I mean, whatever. Could have ended up a lot worse.
And originally, I thought someone else had taken his phone, because someone I follow on Twitter who was at the party tweeted someone, and they were like, hey, like, I found your phone. I was like, oh my god, this is Connor's phone. But it ended up being someone else who had lost their phone at the same party, so yeah, just everyone was just all over the place. And the funny thing with that friend, she has a tendency to take things when she gets super so I'm pretty sure she saw that phone and just ended up like, whoop, and then like took it. And then just like, oh, like I took someone's phone last night. Like,
what friend is this? So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you did, make sure you don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or leave us a comment down below letting me know. Also, again, don't forget to check out Marquitte's social media. That'll be linked down below, as well as mine. And yeah, do you have anything to say to the people?
I just want to say I had a lot of fun making this video. We have a lot more crazier story time, so if you want to hear them, just let us know and we can do that for you. I also want to say thanks for letting me be the first feature on the Brenda Palacios' channel.
Aww,
so
of course.
But yeah, I definitely would like to do this again.
Yeah, so if you guys want to see more videos with Marquitte, definitely like or leave a comment letting me know. But I do hope you guys have a great day, great rest of your week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!
See you guys.